All right, let's see if I can do this without confusing myself. So I had a friend who told me a story about a LinkedIn post that told a story about someone they knew who told a story. So I guess this is going to be like fourth hand, but still it's going to be something very powerful because I love the direction that this went in. So hear me out. One of the things that's been on my mind recently a lot has been about roles and accountabilities in Agile. One of the things that I see is titles. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of changes with regard to the way titles are being positioned. Some people are saying that Scrum Masters are going away or that product owners are going away. Scrum Masters are becoming something different. Product owners are becoming product managers. And I'm starting to hear the lingo changing, if you will, or the titles changing. And I don't know that I'm completely on board with all of the changes, but there are some changes that make sense. And I'm just going to get into the story because I think the story is going to give you the meat of what's going on. In 2025, we formally changed the title of Scrum Master to Agile Delivery Manager in our division. Thank goodness we did. This renaming wasn't a rebrand for the sake of optics. It reflected a deeper evolution that was already happening, rooted in the expanding scope of delivery leadership, the adoption of flow metrics and value stream management, and our real-world shift from strict Scrum towards a more customized Kanban-based model. Let's pause. This has been happening for the last 10 years. And I have been talking about this both on podcast episodes as well as in classes for quite some time. In fact, all those people who take Agile Diet classes are probably already prepared for this change because this change has been writing on the wall for quite some time. This is not something new. This is something that has been there for a long time. So if you're just learning this today, welcome. Welcome to the world of the living. But for the most part, we're seeing people who have seen this for a while. So let's keep going. It was this year that the name change finally clicked. After assigning value stream mapping architect responsibilities to our Scrum Masters and giving them ownership of delivery metrics, team-level delivery health, and collaboration across roles within their Agile teams, I realized the title Scrum Master no longer fit what they actually did. I even considered Scrum Agile Value Stream Manager, but that felt too narrow and very platform specific. Yeah, I don't like that name either. And once again, I think the key message that I'm hearing here, and I don't know if you're hearing the same thing as I am, is don't get hung up on the player, get hung up on the game. No, that's not the message. The message is don't get hung up on the title, right? We need to have a better understanding of those accountabilities. If we can get to the point where we understand the accountabilities, I don't care if you call the person gummy bear number 74. We just need to make sure we get the accountabilities aligned so that it makes sense as we process the information. And that's when Agile Delivery Manager finally stuck. Not only is a better label, but also a more accurate reflection of the mindset that we had and the mission. I do want to point out, I'm going to continue because I just read the first words of the next paragraph. Why we made the change. The change. Change is a key word here. This was not an overnight decision. It was a culmination of years of observing the gap between traditional Agile roles and modern delivery demands. I've tried composing my thoughts extensively about the evolving nature of delivery roles in the modern product and engineering ecosystem. In navigating digital product workflow and metrics landscape, it has been highlighted how organizations that have matured beyond Agile 101 practices shift their attention upstream towards value creation, flow efficiency, and business impact. Okay, there's two things here that stood out to me. Actually, there's three. The first one that stood out is it's a culmination of observing the gaps between traditional Agile roles and modern delivery demands. This is something that's been going on for quite some time, but it has to do with change or change management. So what you're starting to see is these principles of change management creep into the Agile workspace, which I am a big fan of. I think this is awesome. I love to hear about organizations moving beyond the 101, with the book, according to the book of Scrum, chapter Schwaber, verse 79, no, right? We need to get away from that line of thinking. We need to get beyond the What are the 3 exact questions, word for word, you ask in a daily scrum? We need to get past that type of mentality. And we need to start shifting our focus. Another thing that I thought was really interesting, really interesting, is where it talks about the organizations that mature beyond these practices shift their attention upstream towards value creation, flow efficiency, and business impact. This is the change management shift that I've been talking about, but it's also extensively a higher demand on focus of outcome instead of output. And what shocked me is that they mentioned the word output twice just recently. So I think that we're still stuck in a delivery mindset, but trying to change the titles to get past being stuck in a delivery mindset. If we're going to be successful using Agile, we need to get more into the ideation and discovery mindset and less in a delivery mindset. So we need to make some pivots, some adjustments in order to make this work. So here's a quote. It says, organizations that have invested in high automation, eliminated waste, and accelerated continuous integration and continuous deployment cycles are now shifting left, seeking broader visibility from idea to operation. It's funny because I just said that before I read this quote. We can't measure agility in isolation. Dependency is a part of a system, not a failure of it. Leadership roles must evolve to manage flow across those dependencies, not just within the activities on a team board. We need to get outside of the delivery and get back to the discovery. This is, I'm not going to say it, but this is a genius story, right? This is the evolution that I've been predicting for 10 plus years. And it's finally coming to fruition and people are finally starting to realize it. But there needs to be a role that connects everything together. There needs to be a role that's the glue that holds all the sawdust together and makes us all MDF. Or would that be particle board? Anyway, the point is there's a role that's glue that holds it all together. So with that being said, Agile leadership roles and accountabilities vary across organizations. Some have Scrum Masters or Agile leaders, while others have technical project managers, Agile shepherds, Agile coaches. In some cases, the responsibilities shift to engineering or product managers. In some companies, they distribute those accountabilities across team members and eliminate a role entirely. Some organizations have, and I saw this, Scrum Masters, project managers, senior project managers, release managers, alignment managers, portfolio managers, system managers. I have 5 bosses, Bob. I don't know who to work for. I don't know who to answer to. These things are causing confusion. And it all kind of comes to this point of the spearhead, the tip of the spearhead, when you start talking about a misalignment or misunderstanding of the roles and accountabilities. That's what it boils down to. And it's about how we handle change and change management. So this role, the Agile Delivery Manager, is unique in that it's the only role on a team that is not incentivized by doing a specific type of work. So some examples. Product managers focus on growth and prioritize new features. Technical leads can concentrate on architecture and managing good design and managing technical debt. Information security leaders can reduce security risks, and QA can ensure that any type of outstanding or cross-functional defects are identified, managed, and taken care of. So there's a lot going on. I think that the Agile Delivery Manager operates almost at a higher level, like one step up, overseeing workflow across distribution of work types, including features, debt, risk, defects. What they're doing is they're calling everything a story and making sure those stories are hitting and that they're being managed well. That's the key. That's the manager part of this. But I think that you honestly need to get to the point where you stop focusing and honing in so much on the title and trying to isolate a set of accountabilities and start looking at the actual work that this person does. So it's worth clarifying. Agile delivery managers remain focused on the teams that are working for them, kind of like a Scrum Master does. And while the title may sound broader, the role is not intended to operate across multiple products, so to speak. It's designed for teams to have a coordinated person to go to, much like a Scrum Master or an Agile coach. But this person also is helping govern change within the organization, championing flow, championing metrics, making sure we understand OKRs, objectives and key results, and value stream mapping, making sure we have some understanding of team collaboration, and how that all works. Agile leadership and flow-based delivery, flow metrics, value stream optimization, what a value stream even looks like. What is the architecture of a value stream? These are all basic things that this person needs to lean in and do. So that begs the question, what happens to your traditional Scrum Master? Does this just go away? You're using all those same core competencies: facilitation, servant leadership, coaching, team empowerment, all the things you've been doing as Scrum Master, they don't go away. But you're boosting all of those and putting in a foundational structure of AI underneath so that across all these different platforms and across all these different things, you have success where the Scrum Master is stepping outside of their traditional shell and doing something that's bigger and broader so that they can help the Agile team be more successful. So that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have a topic you want us to discuss, learn more at agiledad.com is where to go, because we'd love to hear from you. And as always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.